In part 2 of our special report on the housing market, experts weigh in on what should be done to address the issue of rising property prices that have made home ownership an increasingly distant dream for many. While admittedly, there isn't a quick fix solution to Malaysia's housing market woes, economists and developers concur that a more concerted effort by both public and private sectors could contribute towards a more equitable environment for home buyers. Anthony Cho, a developer based in Malacca, said affordable housing should be entirely government-supplied and run, as asking developers to help build affordable houses increases costs which then get passed on to buyers. The government should instead form national and state-level affordable housing boards to oversee the supply of such properties, and developers can contribute funds in lieu of them building these homes, he said, which would be similar to the system employed by Singapore. He added that to ensure people who need affordable housing the most have access to units, the government could place limits on lease terms that could be reviewed upon expiry, by which time those who had saved enough money to upgrade or buy can make way for others in greater need of accommodation. Jeffrey Williams, an economist with the Malaysia University of Science and Technology, agreed that centralizing affordable housing programs could provide a more equitable social housing market. House prices for social housing could be fixed at cost price. The housing could be offered using rent-to-own schemes with affordable repayments. With rent-to-own schemes, the minimum 10% down payment does not need to be paid, and those who may not qualify for financing from banks are given access to the market. Where people can get financing through normal mortgage-backed schemes, the free market would prevail. Where incomes are too low to raise a sufficient mortgage, then rent-to-own schemes could be used. Carmelo Folito, the CEO of the Center for Market Education, however, said that a social mobility-centered approach with less government intervention would be more effective, leaving developers to cater for market demand. In this sense, I see the government eventually building shelters only for the very poor, let's say the B10. He said that targeted rental assistance was a better long-term strategy that allowed people, as their income level rose, to bolster their savings to buy a house in due course. The government can book certain units in middle-range projects developed by private businesses, subsidizing the rent for qualified tenants. The amount of the subsidy would decrease with the increase of the income. This is a way to allow people to live near good job opportunities and therefore have access to social mobility chances. Despite the varied views offered, one thing remains crystal clear. They all agree that the affordable housing agenda needs urgent reform, simply because the current policies do not appear to be working.